Do you love
automation and artificial intelligence?
Do you live
And breathe digital technology?
Do you have
Business savvy in your DNA? Nikki Gonzalez does, and she's a host of the Creators Lounge.
The Creators Lounge is proud to welcome AMT.
And welcome back to the Creators Lounge. This time I have some fantastic folks from AMT with me in the lounge. I got Ryan, Cathy, and Kevin, and I'll let them introduce themselves and what they do at AMT. But I just want to say good morning, guys. Thank you for joining me.
Good morning. It's super fun to be here.
And what do you think of the vibe here in the Creators Lounge?
So I'm Cathy Ma, the VP of Integrated Product Solutions at AMT. I am also the project manager of the Creators Lounge, so I'm very biased. I think the energy is insane. We have a lot of people getting so excited looking at all the latest machinery and technology. I cannot be happier. What about you, Ryan?
Well, it's quieter in here than it is out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I've walked by the Creators Lounge. This is my first time inside of it. And so, we're sort of in the sound protected booth and you can see all the activity and the energy outside, but in here it's a bit quiet. But from the outside it's really cool. The audience can't see this, but this booth is in the middle of the trade show. There's screens and speakers out there so that people walking by, they can stop and they see what's going on, and it's sort of broadcasted through the show. It's a very cool concept, and I think people are really into it.
Well, I'm glad you're digging it in here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for AMT as well while we're at it?
Sure. So I'm Ryan Kelly. I am the general manager of AMT's San Francisco Tech Lab. What does that mean? I'm really focused on creating more connectivity between our traditional industry and the emerging technology, the high-tech scene in Silicon Valley. But increasingly, I'm also focused on other markets where there's a lot of emerging technology, places like Pittsburgh, Austin, Detroit, Los Angeles. So there's a lot of companies out there that, like take Google, for example, or NVIDIA, or companies like this that maybe these folks at the show might not think of them as manufacturing technology companies, but that's how they think of themselves.
Yeah.
And so I'm always looking for ways to see, how can we create more connectivity, more opportunities in creating a more high-tech manufacturing ecosystem. I would also add I work with a lot of startups and investors too, because all of this is sort of a part of the ecosystem of bringing more technology to industry.
Yeah, I went to the investor mixer the other night, and what a party. That just, the vibe is crazy. And I come from that tech world. I was in the San Francisco Bay Area for 10 years and, worked out in the plants as well as in the R&D labs. And there's something about connecting that sort of just the heart of innovation with the industry that's been, running our country for the last few hundred years. So I bet that's a fun place to be.
Yeah, it's a very fun job, and I was a member of AMT before I joined staff, and it's really fun to be in a role where it's really just connecting people that are experts in the things that they do, for this, greater mission of galvanizing America's industrial base. It's really rewarding for sure.
Very cool. All right, next.
So the new guy gets to go last. But, my name's Kevin Bowers. I'm the VP of Research here at AMT. I'm new to the role. I've been here just a few days, under 5 months. But prior to that, I spent, this is my 10th IMTS, but I spent 9 times as an exhibitor.
Oh, perfect.
And both companies I worked for in that 20 years or so were AMT members as well. But it's very fun to be on this side. So many of the things we do, I don't think maybe all of our exhibitors and members know, so getting that word out is part of my job as well, but I'm excited to be here.
Doesn't that always open your eyes a little bit when you kind of flip over to the other side and you go, I didn't know what it was like to be on the other side of that. But then you get to connect those dots. So let's talk a little bit about what does AMT and that role that you guys play in the industry feel like to you guys? I think the topic of this interview is at the heart of AMT, and I see a lot of heart in all of you.
I'll kick off. So as the VP of Integrated Product Solutions, people ask me what that is.
Yeah.
You heard from Ryan. He's thinking about technology, investment community, and how we can bring people together. You talk to Kevin, we talk about data and research and market intelligence. My role is to bring all of that resources together. If you think about IMTS, it is a marketplace that comes up every 2 years where communities can connect.
Yeah.
So my role is really about thinking about leveraging digital solutions to extend that, so that in the 24 months in between IMTS, we design solutions that can better connect the communities together to drive manufacturing growth. So what about you, Kevin?
Well, so in research, I want to be the first stop for every member to say, I have a question. Well, let's ask AMT first, right? And if we can't answer it, we'll find someone that can answer it. But then equally, internally, I support Cathy, Ryan, the IMTS team with all the data we collect, whether it's our proprietary data, third-party data, or just, wrangling the government data, so.
Data, that's a big topic for everyone here. Doesn't really matter what role you're in. There's a lot of numbers to crunch.
Sure, and as a 120-year-old nonprofit association that was really formed, with the purpose of increasing industry access to technology, this is our crown jewel, right? This is why most people know us. But we do more than that. We can support the industry in between, every 2 years that we do IMTS. But fundamentally, why do we exist? Market access, industry intelligence, and I think sort of in talking about the things that we do, you sort of see the different ways, the creative ways that AMT provides that. And you mentioned that you picked up on the fact that we're all passionate about this. It's true. We select for that, and everybody that works for AMT. It sort of has this same passion for the industry, and also I would say for customer service. We're very much a people-oriented group.
Yeah.
Manufacturing is a team sport.
It sure is.
And that really means that people within our community need to feel good to reach out and engage us, and that's I think why we have staffed the team as such.
I definitely feel that. I feel that passion. We'll be right back after a quick sponsor break to get into some of these numbers and trends.
You are watching The Creators Lounge. Gain insights as our hosts talk to expert guests about key industry topics. Come see the action live on the trade show floor. Visit booth 338 600. See you at The Creators Lounge.
All right, so let's dive into some trends. I know you guys look at a lot of data, you connect a lot of dots. What are we looking at for crucial conversations, for trends for 2025? And maybe we can start with some of the things I've been hearing, reshoring and smart manufacturing. You guys, which one? Somebody, I know you're all passionate about it. Who wants to take the first win?
So on the topic of reshoring, I think that this is certainly a mega trend. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
The industry is certainly experiencing some significant tailwinds as a result of that. There are, what do we say, 86,000 or over 90,000 people at this point?
We're at over 90,000.
Yeah,
and
so
over
90,000.
32% of those registrants are women, by the way.
Oh, that's
this is not part of our conversation right now, but I can't help but tell you.
No, I appreciate the mention. That's fantastic. But a lot of these people are here shopping for new technology as a result of the increase in both new capital or new factory fit up.
Yeah.
So we've got record numbers, and maybe Kevin can give the exact numbers. I don't have them off the top of my head, of the amount of new construction for new factories. What are they going to put in those factories? They have to buy it here. They need to evaluate it here. So I think that this is a topic really on everybody's mind right now, because it's necessitates the new investment in these new facilities, and the fact that a lot of sort of existing sites are seeing an increase in demand. And they either need to get new things or they need to expand. So this is certainly a real trend that we're seeing, and it's definitely having an impact on the number of attendees and, of course, the number of sales that all of our exhibitors are making.
And let's break down a couple of trends when it comes to reshoring as well. In the past, we see that a lot of manufacturers, they tend to want to work on the design and research layer in the United States, and then offshore production maybe in Mexico or in Asia. But now when I brought some executives, when we walked through the hall, they beeline into looking the latest 5-axis CNC machine, because they said, well, traditionally we don't actually produce in-house, but we now learn that with, sometimes the unpredictability of supply chain and shipping, it's actually so much faster to tool up their whole production line so they can have more control. So that's very positive to our industry. The other aspect we see is we have a strong presence of defense educators at IMTS. So we have educators talking about the needs for the next few years when it comes to submarine and Navy manufacturing. So there are a lot of activities, and even our members are saying, wow, the amount of activities they get on the floor this year is exceeding the expectations.
And as the number guy, I'll bring some numbers to this. So one of the benchmarking surveys we do here at AMT is called USMTO, where we track manufacturing technology orders. And this week we had a lot of meetings with many different people and doing some forecasts. And this year we'll probably end up a little bit down compared to 2023, but the forecast for 2025 is plus 23%.
All right.
So a lot of the things we see coming down from the government, CHIPS Act, Inflation Reduction Act, and things are going to start hitting next year. So that means there's going to be many more orders coming back for manufacturing here locally in the United States.
It takes some time to get, especially those green belts, kicked off, to be actually putting equipment in. But I know that, on reshoring is tricky if we are trying to do traditional manufacturing using all labor, right? We got labor shortages here in the U.S. already, and now we're trying to do more production here. So technology obviously plays a huge role in that. We need more efficient machines, and we need more automation, and we need more software to sit on top of it. One of the trends that I've noticed is way more software companies and tech companies here than I've seen ever before. Traditional Silicon Valley tech companies coming in, and not just saying, oh, we know what's best for manufacturing, but really bringing in people with that operations experience, bringing into partnerships with long-standing manufacturers. What are your thoughts about the presence of software and what role that plays in the trends that we're seeing moving forward?
Well, I'm super excited about it. Obviously there's, for many show cycles, there's been an increasing amount of digital solutions, and even within, we're sitting in the South building where all of the CNC booths are. I mean, over the show cycles, just the presence of digital technology within these exhibits has gone up, and I would add automation to that as well. So it's been a trend going on for some time, but now I would say the amount of pure software vendors that we see here is just, really increasing in a dramatic way. And then, of course, we have Google Cloud, we have AWS, we have Microsoft here, sort of, and those exhibits have been packed almost the entire time.
Yeah.
So I'm, as the sort of the person that represents AMT in Silicon Valley, I'm overjoyed by this because it's like you said, there's a huge demand for the digital solutions and the infrastructure needed to sort of move into smart manufacturing. We also have Apptronic with their Apollo humanoid robot here.
Yes.
And that is over in the Emerging Technology Center right now. And it's doing some, picking some objects up, looking at them, and sort of putting them in various places using AI. And it's sort of been interesting to see the reaction of the audience to this. Is it going to be more cynical, skeptical? No, it seems like they're all super interested and smiling and thinking that this is really, really cool as a way to sort of, possibly augment, all the jobs that need to get filled. And so AI now is, I'd say, another topic that's actually a lot of people are talking about. You see it in some companies that are really saying that we're an AI first company, or lots of companies even here in the South building that are sort of showing the features that leverage artificial intelligence in some way. So, I mean, just between IMTS 2022 and 2024, just the presence of not just digital technologies, but of real hard tech and artificial intelligence is It's overwhelming. It really makes me think, what is IMTS 2026 going to be like? I think the AI is going to be a major topic of conversation then.
So for me, I noticed you said we're here in the CNC machining hall. Almost every single one of these solutions is being sold along with like a robot or some automation if you want it. So I think that's kind of the culmination of what 10 years ago, those were kind of newer. People were looking at, should I use this? How should I use this? Now they're going, just buy it with my machine, right? We've got the Aptronics robot out there right now, the humanoid. I wonder how many IMTSs from now will be ringing bells because somebody bought a humanoid in one of the booths here at IMTS. Well, we'll be right back after a quick sponsor break to continue this fascinating conversation.
Additive manufacturing has grown from a niche prototype building process to a production-ready technology enabling new opportunities. It's a manufacturing tool that no one should be without. Building on its annual flagship event in Frankfurt, Germany, Formnext is bringing the most comprehensive, best-in-class additive manufacturing trade show to the United States at Formnext Chicago in 2025.
In my opinion, Formnext is the most important additive show in the world. We go to Formnext in order to find new products to offer to our customers and to get a good pulse of how the industry is doing.
You'll find buyers and sellers there. You're finding and talking to people that are looking for additive manufacturing solutions. And it's everywhere from people who have never worked with additive before to people who have been in working with the technology for a long time and looking kind of for the latest and greatest.
Formnext, the entire ecosystem of industrial additive manufacturing in one place. Join us for the inaugural Formnext Chicago in 2025. Discover more at formnextchicago.com.
All right, so during the break, we had to speculate when we think the humanoid will be sold here on the IMTS floor, and we're debating whether it's going to be potentially this year or definitely next year. But what about solutions? What do you guys do for buyers and sellers other than bring this amazing place together where people can actually come, look, buy, sell in person over 6 days here in Chicago? Let's talk a little bit about what other solutions you guys bring to the table.
I'm going to kick off.
Yeah.
If you think about our demographic of audiences, 81% of U.S. manufacturers are small companies.
Yes.
They have less than 50 staff or below. They don't have a Ryan, Cathy, or Kevin.
Right.
So our mission is to democratize market intelligence. So the first project the three of us are going to work on is actually to gather all the behavioral intent data about which industry is looking for what technology solutions and how that's going to change year over year to help us forecast what our community need next. So number one, market intelligence. And number two, as Ryan already brought up, our mission is to really create more access for people who are selling solutions or offering solutions. So I think we really, coming from a product and technology background, we want to rethink about IMTS.com. Mm-hmm. So today is already a great website with amazing content, but we would love to hear from our community in terms of, hey, I have this particular needs 24 months in between IMTS. How can we help? So the next, I would say 2 years is going to be us being very open to listening to the community out there. We know IMTS is serving you. Yeah. How can we serve you even better digitally 24/7?
I love that you use the word community multiple times in that. You're listening, you're reacting to what they need, and you're helping them. And that focus on the small business, because you're right, absolutely. Big companies are great. They make a big statement. They have big booths. They have big brands. But they need, everybody needs the small businesses that really make up that ecosystem, right? The supply chains, the customers. And we've heard this morning even more and more of those small businesses are making the investment here to come on their own, not sponsored, to come try to meet their community. Maybe people that they've seen on LinkedIn or people that they've met at smaller events. They're coalescing here, and there are a number of communities here. But moving on to data, right? So you have a lot of numbers to crunch, a lot of data, I'm sure around a lot of different things. And are you guys using AI in any of that? Or what do you guys see as the evolution of kind of how AMT, how you guys are using that data to serve your customers?
Well, we are using AI. So on our research staff, we have data scientists and physics majors, and everyone has a STEM background. So I'm very good at the numbers. So we do run some machine learning models on certain trends and things. And we're especially excited with all the data we're going to get here because, as Cathy mentioned, we want to build the ecosystem. So if someone saw additive, but then they also went to software, but then they also came to finishing things, we want to connect those dots so that maybe in 2026, something like you see in ETC, like a machining center, a robot, additive, induction heating, vision, maybe more people start to collaborate and put those things throughout the booth. So we are using AI. We promote the use of AI, and
I love just hearing those practical applications, right? There's a lot of places that are kind of invisible, that aren't the hype uses of AI, that are the future, but they're just bread and butter tools by now. They're part of the tool belt, right? And data analytics has always been, it was definitely an early adopter of those machine learning models. What other, are you already starting to aggregate some interesting trends in your mind before you actually get a chance to look at the data? And if so, what would be your observations from the show, any of you? If there's anything that jumps out that you've seen now that we've been here for 5 days.
For me, I would just jump in and say that the biggest anecdotal evidence I have is the energy.
Yeah.
Every morning at 10, you literally see stream of people gushing in, can't wait to see machinery, technology. I was here in 2022 as an exhibitor, and I can say hands down, this is a very vibrant community, and it has definitely grown. And I really wanted to get the data right after the show with Kevin and nerd out. And as you said, practical application of AI, right? How can we study the pattern of connectivity of people looking for solutions, and how do they really consider the production flow from end to end through the machinery or technologies they look at? I think that would be a really interesting expedition. I'll end by saying a big thing that our community has been telling us is no one really talks about the whole production flow. It's quite siloed.
Yeah.
So I love what Kevin just said, because I would love to use data like as like a illuminating agent to really test out, where are the gaps.
Absolutely. Kevin, you want to add something to that?
Well, as you said, I do want my hands on the data, but I haven't got that. But, from doing this for 10 times, you can't walk through here and not see someone you know. So every conversation I've had, lead amounts are up and the quality's up. So that's good news for everyone. So now let's look in the data and see why and who that quality is coming from and why it's coming. So I'm excited to see the data, but it feels, like you said, the excitement is real and quantifiable, I think.
I've been having to make sure to get here before 8 a.m. every day just to avoid the crowds because it's crazy. Ryan, one last answer. Unfortunately, we're almost up on time here, but yeah, what are your thoughts, trends?
There are robots everywhere.
Robots everywhere. They're ubiquitous now.
Not just in the automation pavilion, but we have robots all throughout the show. More robots. There might be more robots than any other type of equipment here, which is, I'd say, a new trend for me. And a lot of them are hooked up to cameras and sensors. They're able to do things now that the robots just a few years ago weren't able to do. So that's a trend that I only see increasing.
Absolutely. I noticed that as well. Cathy, one last, if you want to give any call to action to those watching, quickly, what should people do if they want to get involved, or what should they watch out from you guys?
Get in touch with us. We're on LinkedIn. Cathy Ma, Kevin Bowers, Ryan Kelly. We'd love to hear from all of you because you give us the best feedback to help us build the best solutions for you. And check out IMTS.com after the show. We want to continue to improve our content and solutions for you 24/7.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and have so much fun the rest of the day. There's so much more cool stuff to do. We'll be right back in the Creators Lounge after a quick break.
Thanks.